Welcome to today's conference program. My name is Sarah Parker Pauley, and I serve as the director of the Missouri Department of Conservation. And I want to offer a warm welcome to all of you, whether you're here in Missouri or tuning in across the country. As a lifelong learner myself, I am so grateful for every opportunity where we can gather together and learn from each other in our connections, our communications, and collaboration. So thank you for being here today for this tremendous learning and sharing opportunity. So now let's talk cover crops. The Missouri Department of Conservation is very interested in cover crops for their many benefits, including benefits for wildlife, pollinators, clean water, and of course the way they help protect and improve the soil. For wildlife, many of the plant species used as food plots for deer are the same plants as those used for cover crops. Game cameras and other observations show deer really gravitate towards cover crop fields. Cover crops also provide habitat and sometimes food for quail, pheasants, and other game birds. Waterfowl and migratory birds make use of cover crop fields for foraging and resting. In fact, a University of Illinois research study found twice as many songbirds in cover crop fields than soybean fields without cover crop. Pollinators also benefit from cover crops. The most important resources for pollinators are the pollen and nectar provided by flowering plants. Cover crops that flower can help pollinators meet those food requirements. Pollinators also need more than just pollen and nectar. Many native bee species nest under vegetative residue, which cover crops can provide even if they're not flowering. Clean water, which of course impacts all of us, is another great benefit. A USDA SAR research review indicated that cover crops on average reduce nitrogen loss from fields by almost half, which also reduce phosphorus runoff. Cover crops help rainfalls soak into the soil, which in turn reduce runoff of pesticides from fields. We'll hear a lot from other speakers at this conference on how cover crops help protect and improve the soil, including reducing erosion by up to 90%. Another big soil impact from cover crops is getting more carbon sequestered in the soil. Over time, this increase in soil carbon sequestration from cover crops is one of several ways that farmers are helping mitigate carbon emissions and helping us all adapt to a changing climate. The bottom line is identifying and implementing conservation practices that benefit natural resources and add to a farmer's productivity and prosperity. We know from agricultural researchers that cover crops boost soil health in a way that contributes to the resiliency of our fields and farms, helping maintain production in times of weather extremes and over time improving profitability. For all of these reasons, I am so proud to say that the Missouri Department of Conservation has launched a new initiative to have farmland owned and managed by the department make use of cover crops as a standard conservation practice. Up to 65,000 acres of MDC-managed farmland in Missouri will be impacted. And our goal is to have diverse cover crop mixes used on at least 75% of these fields by 2024, which will provide benefits for wildlife and pollinators, our water, land, and most importantly, our farmers and our communities. Our state and the Missouri Department of Conservation have a long and proud tradition of prioritizing conservation programs that benefit all of our citizens. The cover crop and soil health work being discussed through this conference are critical aspects of these efforts going forward. I want to thank the staff with the MU Center for Regenerative Agriculture for organizing this important conference and working to assist farmers and landowners in cooperation with the department's private lands branch and many other farm advisors. Finally, I commend all of you for your interest in cover crops and soil health and for your own efforts to support conservation approaches. Have a great rest of the conference and happy holidays.